before we actually start. If you have any injuries that you are aware of, that physical movement can bring you pain or perhaps a re-injury, I want you to experiment with what we're doing and making sure that you are starting off from a gentle point versus an all-in point. And so what that means is just to test it out and make sure that there's no pain. You may feel discomfort, which is normal when you're starting a new type of stretch or exercise or something different than your body is used to. And so if there's straight up pain, that means that that particular thing is too much for you. And that's the body's way of letting you know to please stop that. Don't do it. So that particular shape might not be for you. And all the shapes will be very gentle, but you just have to try to ease into them just to make sure that there's no re-injury. You will feel discomfort. We are moving muscles sometimes in ways that they haven't been moved in a while. And also, if you need to take a break, please take a break. And all a break is if you need some water, stop and have some water, or if the bathroom, obviously. You need to catch your breath a little bit, just stop. You can either lay on your back or sit. There's a pose called child's pose where you're sitting down with your arms out, hips down towards your heels, arms out. That's one of the resting poses of yoga. We'll do that later on the mat so I can show you in a better way than from my seat. So we'll first start with just some quiet breathing, and then I'll move into what's called a grounding practice. So you may sit or lay down in a way that's comfortable for you. Doesn't matter, seated or laying back on your back, or you can lay on one side, bending your knees. And just settle there. And then just check into your breath. Is it calm or is it lumpy, meaning, not controlled? Is it relaxed? So we want to smooth the breath out, and that's under your control. And so the breath is just smooth, and we're breathing through our noses today. So just regulate your system, your breathing, so that you're just taking smooth, big, full, complete inhales, real deep inhales, and then slowly releasing that breath all the way out. And so again, you are controlling your breath. This controlled breathing helps us to manage times of stress and anxiety and other things that come up for us. Obviously, it's something that you carry around with you. The breath is an ever-present tool that I say that you can use whenever something unsettling comes up for you, or annoying, or whatever the word is. You can always redirect your attention onto your breath, and that'll help to regulate your nervous system, to down-regulate it a little bit. You may have your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. You may keep them open. You may look around your space if that's a comfort for you. You may also lower them halfway. So you decide where you want your eyelids to be. Wide open, all the way shut, halfway open, open and looking around. Your choice. Yogi's choice. You are your own best yoga teacher, so you decide what that looks like. Full, deep, slow inhales. And complete exhales. Try to control your thoughts. We as human beings have what's called monkey mind in yoga, which means that our brain, our mind is chattering all day, except for when we're asleep. So we have to, it's a practice we have to work on regularly. Then it becomes a way that you are. But when our minds start to wander away, to bring it back onto the breath. And it's okay for the wandering, it's natural. But we can train our mind to stay more focused. But we have it, that's a practice too. We have to work on it. So when you start to, my mind goes into what I have to do next and what I have to do today and what I have to do to prepare for work tomorrow and all these thoughts, I try to, when that's not appropriate, I try to bring it back onto my breath. So like now, if my mind started to go off, I would come back to my breathing. So from where you are, stay there, and I'm going to go through a grounding practice. And grounding just means that we're bringing our awareness into the space we're in together, not the physical, well, the physical space too, but our time together in class. So however you are, I just want you to notice parts of you that are touching something else. So I'm seated. I feel my feet on the floor. I feel my forearms on my thighs. I feel I'm on a little stool again this week for now. I can feel my tush and the high parts of my thighs on the stool, back of my thighs. Yeah, feet on the floor. So just notice the parts of you touching something else. I'm rubbing my hands together right now, so I notice that. We'll notice the air on our skin and how the air feels. So noticing where the skin ends or stops and where the air comes in, where the air begins. And so for now, at this time of morning, this room is really nice and cool. In a few hours, it will be much warmer. And if I was teaching later, I'd have to have the fan on or would want the fan on. So just notice the air on your skin. So you can use these practices when you are waiting for, an unsettling appointment. The example I use is when I go see the tax guy waiting in his lobby. He's a nice guy, but I know I'm going to owe money to somebody when I leave his office. So I use this focused breath and this grounding practice to just settle my nerves and settle my nervous system. And so have a look around the room you're in and look at it with new eyes or fresh eyes, as if it's your first time in that space. And notice the colors and textures of the things in that room that brought that room together. So the furnishings and the fabrics of the furnishings, there's tables, what the tables are made out of, flooring, what it's made out of, the ceiling, what it's made out of, the paint, the colors of the walls and the furniture and the rugs, if you have rugs. And then we'll come back to stillness. And we will now move into our sense of hearing. So see if you hear any sounds in your space inside. We'll do inside, then we'll take our attention outside. So I can hear in the other hallway that one of my cats is using a scratch post thingy. I can hear over here there's a timer to turn on a lamp at later and when it's dark out, and I can hear that timer keeping time. I have a water fountain in the other corner. I can hear the water trickling. So notice what you hear in your space. And it may be totally silent, which is fine. Smoothing the breath. Slow, full, deep inhales. Noticing what your feet are touching, or your side body is touching, or your tush, buttocks is touching, or the backs of your thighs. We move attention to the sounds outside. I hear a distant airplane. Birds. It's pretty still out there. I have some wind chimes out my window. They're not moving right now. Just listening for sounds outside. And then moving your attention back onto your breath for a few cycles. So again, filling the lungs, full, deep, slow inhales. Complete exhales. We empty out all the air each exhale, because if we don't, the old breath gets stuck in the lungs and it doesn't have any oxygen in it. It's just holding space, taking space, and it's not nutritious at all. So when we push out all the previous inhale, that makes room for you to be able to fill up your lungs completely with an oxygenated breath. So there's a car sound that finally went by. I was waiting for that. A few more cycles of breath in and out, slow and easy breath. Check your jaw. Make sure your jaw is loose. You can loosen your jaw by just separating the arches top and bottom from one another, and then bringing your lips closed over that. So that relaxes the jaw by opening the teeth, the arches of the teeth, and then closing the lips. And then take a big stretch, however you are, just a big stretch, stretching in a way that feels nice. And let out an audible sigh or yawn. Oh, let's do that again. Big sigh, big stretch, big inhale, big stretch, big yawn, and then a big exhale, audible. So I'm going to come down onto my mat, and we will start the rest of the class. You all look really far away. I'm going to bring this camera on my phone. I should sit up. Okay, let's sit cross-legged. So this is called easy pose or cross-legged seated. You may also have your legs extended, so you get to pick whatever is more comfortable. But if your legs are crossed, you can decide if it feels nicer to have them crossed close, the feet close to your torso, or pushed away. One of those feels better, so you decide. I'm going to start with just some slow circles. And I am really tight. So notice when you go from one side to the other, the side rib cage, just how tight or not it feels. It could feel perfectly fine. I spent yesterday all day on an airplane, all day, flying to Orlando and back in the same day on purpose. That's my other job, and I like the long days, so I don't have to be there as many days each month. So that's what I have to do to get that outcome. And so it's in a really, obviously, a tight space with way too many people. And so my body kind of braces all day long. I'm braced all day for, just work. So noticing when we move from one to, like I'm leaning to my right, that your left side might come up off the mat a little, and just an awareness of that. So it's keeping our attention focused on what we're doing. When you notice the side body, that's the target area of one of the reasons we're doing this circling. There's another reason we're opening our hip joints. And then let's reverse that. So same thing, just noticing and feeling the different sensations of the body. As I said earlier, nothing should be painful, but you might feel some feedback from the body. It should not hurt. None of this should hurt. Yoga should never hurt. If you're hurting, you are pushing too hard, and it's not necessary for our purpose of stretching and our purpose of calming our nerves. I'm not going to ever teach you a headstand or a one-arm headstand or how to stand. Actually, you've seen photos, people on their head upside down. We're not here for that. That's not my focus or my jam, and I teach. And come back to center. Let's put the other leg in front or on top. You can also sit. I didn't show you this one. This is another way to sit if you want to bring the top leg on top of the bottom leg, and the sole of the foot facing the ceiling or the sky, if that's comfortable to you. It's another option. Right hand on the floor, we're going to lean over to the right. So the right arm is directly out from the shoulder. So it's not back behind us. It's not in front. We want to sit up tall and then lean over to the right, and using that right arm as a kickstand. And just place your left hand on your left hip. Just hold here. Keeping the left buttock glued to the floor. So if your left buttock lifts up, it's not a stretch anymore. So if that means you need to come up a little bit so that left hip stays glued onto the mat, then do that. So the target area for this side stretch is we're leaning to our right with the left side rib cage and the left hip joint. We're going to hold here for a few breaths. And what I want is, why I'm holding you here is I want the muscles will resist initially and then they'll release. And so I'm waiting for that release part to happen. Sometimes the muscles are like, why are we doing this shape? And they're tight and they're fighting a little with themselves. You don't feel that, but eventually they stretch and they release, they relax. So hold here, we're leaning onto the right palm. The right palm is flat. The right fingers are spread. You may look up, out, and then look down. So let's move our head from side to side, looking up, out, and down. So this brings a little movement to the neck. And let's do one more cycle of head movement. And then walk your hand in, and then let's compare sides. So just notice really quickly if you notice any difference from right to left side body. Okay, then we'll go the other side. So walking the left hand out, straight out from the left shoulder. So again, not back behind. We don't want to crimp the shoulder. We don't want to be leaning backwards. We want to go total side bend. And hold there, left palm flat, left palm open. Right hand on hip, and the right shoulder, I didn't say this on the left side, but we're pulling it back. So we're doing a side bend. So the right shoulder is not slumping forward and down. It's stabilized and mostly right shoulder pointing up to the sky. Okay, hold here. You may look up, out, or down, or picking one of those positions for your head. Your choice. Smooth breath. Control your breathing, check your jaw. Begin to relax the jaw muscles. You just separate your teeth, the arches of your teeth, and then pull your lips down together. And then come up seated on an inhale. Notice the rebound of the muscles on the right side body. I'm gonna go back to the first side. So right hand out. This time we're gonna lift the left arm, and I'd like for you to circle the left arm. So you have some options here. I'm doing really big circles right now. That's what feels best to my body, but you can also do smaller circles that remain more vertical versus my wide circle. So you pick which way you want to circle. Do a few circles. We're leaning over to the right, another side stretch for the left side, circling the left arm. And when you're ready, reverse the direction, circling of the left arm. See how things feel in your chest, on the upper left corner of your chest. See if you feel a nice stretch when your arm goes back. The muscles in the chest get tight because of a lot of times if you're on your cell phone looking down a lot, those muscles get short because I'll show you in a second. Let's sit up, bring the arms up and lower your arms. We sit like this with the phone or the laptop, caved forward for hours and hours every day. Some of us, not all of us. And so these muscles start to shrink because that's the position that they're in mostly. And so we need to do chest openers or heart openers, or what they're called in yoga, to keep those muscles stretched and open. Let's go left side, left palm down. Bring the right arm up and over, circling the right arm, either big circles or small, or you can do a combo of each. See if you feel any motion or movement in your right shoulder blade. So this is a good opener for that too, for the shoulder blades. And reversing, right arm opposite direction. See if you feel an opening on the top of the right side of your body when your arm goes back behind you. It can feel quite nice too. It's I get a release feeling from holding, bracing, as I said. And both arms up. Inhale here. Exhale, left hand to right knee, twist to the right. So the right hand is your kickstand to help you sit tall. And the left hand is touching the right knee. Let's change the cross of the legs again. Bring the bottom or back leg to the front or on top. Sit up tall. If you want to move your head, you can bring some movement to your neck. Just going chin to one shoulder, chin to the other shoulder. Smoothing the breath, checking on the jaw, all those things. Facial muscles are neutral and smooth. We're not we're not frowning. We are not grimacing. Our faces are just neutral. Forehead smooth. A lot of us walk around with our foreheads furrowed up because we're thinking or annoyed about something. Try to relax your facial muscles if you can. Inhale, both arms up, sit up really tall, reaching up. And then exhaling, right hand to left knee. Left hand is the kickstand this time, twisting to the left. You may move your head or leave it in one spot. You decide which direction you want to leave your head. It's your choice. Smooth out the breath. Three more breaths here. And then come back to center. Let's extend our legs. See how nice that feels to let them be. So, and windshield wipe, bring the feet and shake out your arms, hands. We'll bring our feet together. This is called butterfly pose, knees wide. Also called cobbler pose, like the shoemaker. You can have the pinky toe side of the feet touch each other like an open book, or you can bring the soles of the feet together, your choice. Soles of the feet together, engage some of the muscles of the legs. When your sides of the feet, the blade side of your feet are touching, that lets the legs relax a little bit. So you choose which way. Just hold here. And then, one thing, you can also choose to bring your feet close to your torso or away. And somewhere along that line is where it feels the best. And so you have to experiment, and that could change from day to day. But experiment with where you feel the most therapeutic sensation. So it could be a nice stretch on the inner hamstrings, could be a nice feeling on your hip joint. So you just move your feet back and forth and find where it feels the best. I usually bring mine up close because I like the stretch on the inner hamstring. So we're sitting up tall, shoulders are relaxed and down. Just gonna hold here. If you want to lift and lower your knees, you may do that gently. We're not like really rocking them hard. We're just lifting and lowering, or you can just let them be low. And hold here. Lift your chest a little bit. Sit up really tall and shoulders down. Take some breaths here. We'll walk forward now. So hands walking forward away from you. Come as far forward as you can. We don't want to force forward, so just go as far as you can, and you'll notice that the intensity of the feedback will increase as you lean forward. So go as far forward as is comfortable for you, and look down towards your feet. So we want the back of the neck relaxed. By looking downward, that relaxes the back of the neck, smooths out all those wrinkles when we hold our head up. So look down towards your feet. You may close your eyes if you're interested in that. Take 3 breaths here, 3 big cycles of breath. After the 3rd breath, walk your hands toward the left. And notice the increase of stretch on the inner hamstring, and you might feel a little deeper stretch on the right hip joint. See if you notice that. If you don't notice anything that I'm suggesting, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But these are the target, like in this case, the target points or target areas of this particular shape. So breathing here, looking down toward the hands or toward the mat. And then let's walk hands to the right side. So just walking side over to the other side, noticing the change of stretch. So you might feel that now in the inside of the left thigh and the left hip joint. You might. Looking down at the floor. So this twist for me, twisting to the right, I feel a more intense stretch on my left side. Just notice, it's just an awareness. It's nothing wrong with me on the right side, or I don't have to fix it or do anything extra. It's just what it is. And let's go back to center. See if center feels a little more accessible because we've been in this shape before. And also I forgot to mention, when we lean forward in this shape, we're giving a nice stretch to the muscles of the lower part of the spine, the lumbar section. That part gets tight all the time from poor posture, from not very supportive seating or chairs, or not sitting up straight when we sit. So this is a nice stretch for that. So if you suffer from low back pain, this can be helpful. It might not cure it. It might be something more than just a stretch, but it could help it at least. It adds a little length to the muscles down there, a little space to the muscles down there. They get tight. And then inhale, come up. Let's bring the knees together, and how great that feels. Extend the legs out. Wait, before we extend out, feet flat on the mat, and let's windshield wiper the knees. Both knees going the same way. Doesn't matter what side you start on. Just windshield wiper the knees. Noticing the contact points of the mat and your body as you go from one side to the other. This is a nice massage for the buttocks and the fleshy part of the hips. And also it's good for the hip joints, the bones of the legs. And then come back to stillness. Extend your right leg out. We're going to bring the left ankle either above or below the right knee. So we don't want the anything on the kneecap ever. No matter what sport or whatever you're doing, the knee is only meant to bend one direction, and we don't want to put any pressure. There's a lot of little moving parts in the knees, so we never add weight to the kneecap or the knee joint ever. So the crossing of the left leg is either above the right knee or below. Either one is fine, but not on top. Cannot stress that enough. So both feet are flexed, which means that you have the, in the case of the right foot, toes pointing up. We're going to exhale, lean forward here. So just place your hand on the mat wherever you can put them. You can also be on your fingertips. Fingertips help to strengthen the hand. So if you want to do fingertips on the floor, fingertips wide, you can do that, or you can do flat palm, your choice. Look down at the right knee, lean forward as far as you can. If you can reach your right foot, wrap your fingers around your right foot. And have your hands by your right calf, right ankles, all the way forward, wrapped around, your choice. Try them all, do what you can. Looking down at the right knee, take some breath. So this is now, we're stretching the back of the right leg, the entire back of the right leg. Buttocks, hamstring, back of the knee, and calf. Looking down at the right knee, eyes opened or closed, your choice. Big full breaths. And then inhale, come up. When you extend the left leg, see if you notice any difference in the sensation compared to the right leg. We're going to change sides. Right ankle crosses over to left shin or thigh, your choice, not on the kneecap. Feet are flexed, exhale, lean forward. Hold here, look down at the left knee. So hands by the calf, by the ankle, wrap around the left foot, wherever you can. Smooth breath here. So this feels really, really good on my right hip in this shape. So this is a nice one. Felt good on the left side, but it feels much, I feel more of it on this shape, hip opener on the right thigh, right hip right now. Take 3 cycles of breath. We're stretching the back of the left leg from the top of the thigh all the way down to the heel. All the muscles on the back of the leg are getting a stretch by this forward bend. When you're ready, inhale, walk yourself upright and stretch out your right leg. See how that feels compared to the left. Windshield wiper the feet again. We're going to move to table pose. So I'm going to turn sideways for this. It's called table or tabletop or box pose, depending on where you are in the country. So we're looking at hips and knees in a vertical line, shoulder, elbow, wrist in a vertical line. If a hard crease in your wrist joints is uncomfortable for you, just slide your hands away from your knees a little tiny bit and you'll find a more comfortable place to be. So from here, we'll do cat-cow, and this is a nice stretch for the spine, especially when you get out of bed. This is excellent to get your spine moving in the morning.
You can have your toes curled under, which is a nice stretch for the feet. Try that out. Typically, traditionally, we do the tops of the feet on the mat, but this is a nice stretch too. So you can try out both of them, see which one you prefer. We drop the belly toward the mat and arch the back. Take a breath in and lift your chest and chin. The chin lifts just a touch. So we're gonna hold here. This is the cow shape of the cat-cow. So imagine a cow out at pasture, just chilling out. The cow's spine is relaxed. The cow's belly is pointing toward the earth. And there's an arch in the cow's back. The hips are lifted. So we're holding here. Keep the breath moving. We're going to allow the muscles to, especially the muscles in the front of the body, to release a little bit. So hold this shape. Breathe through your nose. And let's reverse that. Lift the spine up toward the sky. Exhale, bring your chin to your chest. So we're pushing the earth away from us. So engaging the arms. Hold here and breathe. Spine lifts up really high, pushing away from the earth with both hands. Let's reverse that. Front of the body drops toward the ground. Hips lift, chest lifts. Inhale here and lift your chin a bit, and then continue the breath moving. So hold this. This is a beautiful stretch for the low part of the spine, the entire spine, but especially the lumbar, the low part. Breathing through the nose here, relaxing your facial muscles and relaxing your jaw. And then let's go in real time now. So we inhale, lift spine up, chin to chest. I'm sorry, that's an exhale, excuse me. Exhale into cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale cat. Inhale cow. We'll do 2 more rounds. Exhale cat. Inhale cow. And then exhale cat. Inhale cow. And then come back to neutral. This is where I'll show you what child's pose looks like. It's one of the resting poses of yoga. So separate the knees. Knees are wide and big toes are touching back there. So big toes touch, and you just exhale and hips to heels. And just settle down, bring the arms out forward. I'm gonna have some arm options for you. So traditional child's pose, the arms are straight out above the head. Palms touching the floor. So see how that feels. And then we can also, if that's too much on your shoulders, bend the arms, bend the elbows. And this is what's called cactus arms. It looks like this, except I'm facing the floor, palms flat on the floor. So that brings a little relief to tight shoulders if that's what you have going on today. You can also bring the hands down by the ankles. So here, just bring the hands down, forehead on the mat. Or 2 more things. And stack your hands and put your forehead there. Last option that I can think of is to stack the fists and put your forehead there. So the stacked fists don't require that the head go all the way down near the floor, which could be nice for some neck issues. So just stacking a fist one on top of the other and forehead there. You could also use, if we had a yoga block handy, put your forehead on the yoga block. So find the place that is the most restful for you in child's pose. We'll be here for a few breaths. And just settle into that shape. Get still, sink down, unbrace. If you're bracing, unbrace. Just breathing through your nose. Noticing the breath moving through the body. Take an inhale, the chest lifts. and the torso pops out when the lungs are full. So noticing those involuntary movements of the body, even in this resting pose. When you're ready, make your way back up to table. We'll do a balance pose called bird dog or cat balance, depending on who's teaching. So we're back to table, hips and knees vertical to one another. Shoulder, elbow, wrist vertical. Check your wrist. If it's too much for the wrist to be right under the elbow, slide your hands away from your knees just to touch. You'll find a sweet spot. Extend the left leg back, toes pointing. You can also, let's start over. Slide the left foot out, toes on the floor. You can hold here. Right finger slide out, fingers on the floor. So the thumb side of the hand is facing up. You can also lift all of that up. Flexing the left foot, left toes pointing down. Again, right thumb up. So this is a balance. So my left leg is up. You might not be able to see it from this angle. Right arm is out, looking down toward the mat. Once you get situated, and hold here. Pull in your belly button. That helps to stabilize you in this shape. So belly button in, reach out with the right fingertips, reach back with the left heel, and just hold here. Bird dog or cat balance. Hold and breathe. This also builds a little heat and helps with core work or core strengthening. And then when you're ready, lower knee, left knee, right hand. We'll change sides. So the right foot can go out on the right toes. Left arm can go out, fingers on the mat, thumb up. You can lift both of those up to increase the challenge, if you will. Pull in your belly button. Reaching with the left fingers, reaching with the right heel. This is called bird dog. Hold here. Check your breath, make sure the breath is still moving. We don't want to hold our breath in these shapes because it sends us a freak out signal to the body. Where's my oxygen? So the only time I would suggest to hold your breath is if you're going underwater swimming. Otherwise, keep the breath flowing so the body doesn't have a reaction about that. When you're ready, bring the right knee down, right foot down. And then we're going to move back to table shape. And we'll do some curls. So we'll start with the right knee. We're going to exhale, bring the right knee toward the right elbow. Inhale, extend the right leg out. Exhale, bring the right knee to the center between both hands, both arms. Inhale, the right leg out. And this last one, exhale, right knee toward the left arm, left elbow. Inhale, right leg out. Set the right knee on the mat. We'll switch sides. So let's start with inhale, left leg out. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, left leg out. Exhale, left knee between both hands, arms. Inhale, left leg out. Exhale, left knee toward right arm. Inhale, left leg out. Lower the left foot. From table, we're going to lift the right foot, cross it behind you. So you can stay here or you can lift the right leg. Okay, so I'm going to turn with my back to you so you can see what I'm going for. So we're here or here. We're reaching around with the left hand to grab the right foot. I'm going to do it from the front. This is called tiger. So I bent my right knee. I can either grab hold of the right foot with the left hand and twist the left shoulder up, or I can lift the right knee off the mat. And hold here and breathe. Stabilize the right arm, flat palm, spread the fingers. Left shoulder's up, breathe through your nose. And then lower the right knee, lower the right leg, and come back to table pose. So we'll move to the other side. Bend the left knee or lift the left knee. Reach around with the right hand and grab the left foot. So left knee can be on the floor or you can lift the left knee. Your choice. Right shoulder turns up toward the ceiling. Left arm is straight and strong. Left hand is flat with fingers spread. Hold here. And let's exhale everything down. Come to seated. So I want to talk about that shape for just a second and we'll take a little break. That's one of my favorite yoga poses because on the left side, the front of the left thigh is getting a stretch. My spine is getting a twist and I'm balancing, which makes me work my core. So it's a three-fer. So we'll sit here for just a couple breaths. See if you notice any changes in your being from the way we first started. Your energy level, your breath. See if you just notice anything different. I'm feeling much more awake. I woke up really late today for me, 8 o'clock. I set the clock for 8. And so I rushed to get everything ready here, but I feel much more energized now than an hour ago. So that's kind of one of the benefits of the yoga. We put a lot of oxygen in our body. So let's sit wide leg. We're going to separate the legs, not to a painful point of separation because that's not necessary and it could injure, but to the front edge of the sensation. So you'll feel a little something if you go a little more than you're feeling than something. So come in just a little bit before that. Bring your hands to prayer hands. I'm going to sweep out, inhale, lift. Exhale, turn to the right leg and come down. One hand on either side of the right leg. Look down at the right knee. You can also close your eyes if you want. Just hold here. And inhale, both arms up. Reach up really tall. And exhaling, turning toward the left leg. One hand on either side of the left leg. Looking down toward the left knee. Take a couple more breaths. And then inhale, come up. Swan dive the arms down. We're going to stay here to continue to get a passive stretch. Bring your right hand over to your left ear and allow the weight of your right arm to just gently stretch the left side of your neck. Sitting up straight and relaxing the shoulders. Controlling the breath. And then release that. Let's change sides. Left hand to right ear, dropping the head to the left. Lower both shoulders. Smooth breath. We're sitting up really tall. You want to pull in your belly button a bit to engage the abdominal muscles. That helps to stabilize us and helps us get a little bit straighter in our sitting, in our being tall, in our having a long spine, pulling in the belly button. And release that. Drop your chin to chest. Circle your head slowly, either direction. So thinking of some of the things we've done today that you could bring into your daily life. And I don't mean getting on a yoga mat and like having yoga time. I mean like throughout the day, if you're working at a desk, doing these neck circles or head circles or the neck stretches. When you're in the car at a stop, obviously you can sit in your seat and just twist your body side to side to get a little length. What happens to us throughout the day, let's rotate the head opposite direction, circle. This gravity pulls us down toward the earth and compresses our spine. So it stacks the spine, and these yoga twists help re-lengthen the spine throughout the day. So you can
use these tools, all of them, and go back into the video library and look at things that you can actually bring into your daily life that does not require, oh, I need an hour, I don't have an hour for yoga, I don't have a yoga mat, I don't have a, whatever it is, that you can do this stuff on your own throughout the day. I call it yoga all day long. So we're gonna go into final rest. You have some options. This is called corpse pose. This is traditionally the way we end the class. This is one of the other 3 resting poses. I talked about 4 of them. We didn't get to the other 2 yet, but that's okay. So corpse pose is here. For some of us, laying out flat like this is too much. It's uncomfortable, it's vulnerable, it's triggering. So we can bend our knees and turn onto one side, where you use the bottom arm as a pillow. So I went from corpse pose, knees to chest, and turn to my right, since that's where the camera is, bending the knees so that my body is stable and I can relax like this, using my bottom arm as a cushion. Okay, so this is called side corpse pose or side shavasana. Right arm wherever it's comfy, you can have it just draped on your, left arm wherever it's comfy, you can have it draped on your left leg, or bring the left palm down to the floor. And just notice a settling of your body. Check in with your breath. Relax your jaw. Unbrace. Get still. Take a big stretch. So you may have to come onto your back for this part. Big stretch. You can add circling the ankles or the feet, circling the hands or the wrists. You can turn your head from one side to the other, massaging the back of your head on your yoga mat. You can point and flex your feet. You can flex and release your hands. So try all the things. Or you can just do a simple stretch also, your choice. the biggest stretch of your day. When you're ready, make yourself up to seated and take your time, no rush. Thank you for coming to class. I hope that you find some benefit and some relief, and some spaciousness as a result of us being together. I will see you in a week, and I want to leave you with this. May you be happy. May your life have meaning, and may you be an instrument of social change. Thank you.